In this video, I'm going to tell you why you should not support ReZero. And I know that may be shocking to some of you. Some of you might believe that I'm actually a Mushoku Tensei fan in disguise. But there's actually a reason why I say that. And in this video, I'll be explaining why you should actually ensure that you do not buy any ReZero merchandise. And you should ensure that ReZero fails. If I was to ask you what a hated gaming company is, most of you would probably say EA, or you would be able to tell me the names of some games which did not live up to expectations. After all, we were promised many things.
16 times the detail.
Memes aside, there's a reason why EA games are hated. They pump out yearly games and there's no real improvements, so it feels like you're buying the same product over and over again. Fallout 76 promised many new features, but it was just a glitchy abomination when it released, and it felt like if you bought the game, then of course you lost money, because what you bought was not what you were promised. In short, people don't like it when they get a low quality product. So what does this have to do with ReZero? What's the whole point of this video? Well, that's to do with the ReZero merchandise, namely the light novel and the manga, and the fact that these products are low quality. For those that don't know, the company which has the license to ReZero is known as Yen Press, and Yen Press will translate ReZero from Japanese to English in light novel and manga format, and they own the rights to hundreds of series such as Konosuba and even Shield Hero and many more. If you check the About section on the Yen Press website, it will state it's founded with the goal of increasing the availability, awareness and appreciation of the comics medium and a love of storytelling. Yet, if you've read any of the light novels and manga from Yen Press, you would know that this statement is simply not true. Yen Press obviously don't give a crap. And there's a reason why I'm saying it. In fact, let's do a quick example. All of you guys are ReZero fans, I take it, and you're watching this video. So let's do a quick test. I want this to be a class exercise. So what I'm going to get you guys to do, if you want to, is to go to Amazon. And I want you guys to type in ReZero manga chapter 4 volume 1. This is the manga, right? And you want to come down to this specific one. This is the first manga volume for Arc 4. So Season 2, Episode 1. And you can actually look inside. Okay? You can look inside and look at the image. And you can sort of see what's happening. And I understand why mangas do this. I think it's very important so you can get a feel of what you're going to buy. However, here's a good example of what I talk about when I say low quality from Yen Press. So you could just scroll down and you'll see in the first few pages you come across an error, and that's to do with one of the Sin Archbishops. You can see, for example, here, Regulus Corneus, the Sin Archbishop of Greed, is referred to as the Archbishop of the deadly sin of predation. We can see that Lei Batin Kaitos is gluttony, which is correct. But you can see, literally, an official manga has a giant error. We can see that all of these Sin Archbishops are named after sins, right? If you go all the way back to the front of the book, Echidna literally calls herself the Witch of Greed. So whoever's translating this knows that it's greed. Everything is using the sins, right? Greed, envy, lust, gluttony, so on and so forth. Yet, you can see later on in the exact same manga volume, Regulus Corneus is the deadly sin of predation. What has happened here? Why is there such a large error in the official manga by Yen Press? And I know some of you are thinking, no way Jake, you're making a video because of one error? However, it's not just one error, there's many different errors. And luckily, some of these have been compiled in separate documents. So on screen, you can see something called editing inconsistencies in Yen Press's official ReZero releases. So for example, down here, you can see a list of inconsistent naming methods. So for example, the Great Rabbit is localized as the Great Rabbit, Massive Bunnies, and Giant Rabbits. So this one entity is called 3 different things across the different volumes. So there's different things. For example, an authority is called an authority, an ability, and a power. So apparently this will happen in volume 19. So in the same volume, it was called a different thing 3 times, and this can lead to errors. However, if you think, oh Jake, this is just things being called the wrong name. No. Over here, ICE has made a mistranslation document. No joke, this document, as you can see, is currently 45 pages. 45 pages. And this is not even a full sort of look over and analysis of the English translations of ReZero. This is just a minor sort of look at the errors and inconsistencies. So over here you can see volume mistranslations and other relevant notes. And you can see, for example, volume 2 has missing lines and potential censorship. You know, a small mistake with RAM, toning Subaru down, missing the point, so on and so forth. And what ICE has done is that he's rated it out of 3, 1 being very minor and 3 being a giant error. And as you scroll through the light novel for volume 2, for example, you'll see that there's so many different things which are mistranslated, and it's unreal. Look, I'm just scrolling, there's so many errors, and this is a small snapshot of what you're buying as a product. So it literally gets to the point where you buy an English light novel to read it and understand the story, but the light novel has so many errors in it that it can actually tell you the wrong things. And this is the issue with Yen Press. They have low quality translations, and this is the reason why I say do not support them. That's the reason why I don't support ReZero light novel and the manga. The anime is done by White Fox, and most of you know White Fox has done a good job with the anime. However, when it comes to the light novel and the manga, it's terrible. I mean, look, I'm not making this up. And look, even though volume 12 and 13 have no results, that's because they haven't been looked at. I'm pretty sure once ICE has enough time to go over 12 and 13, many errors will be spotted. But of course, ICE doesn't have all of the time to go through it. So here's a few examples of why Yen Press is such a bad company. Now, when we go back to that About Us page about Yen Press, when they talk about showing the appreciation of the comic medium, does it sound like Yen Press gives 2 craps about ReZero? No, it doesn't. It doesn't care. This has been brought up to Yen Press many times, and do you know what they do when you bring it up? They ignore you. They do absolutely nothing. They don't care about ReZero, and as a result, neither do I. Also, what's really funny is that ICE posted this today. So for those that don't know, ReZero Volume 1 came out by Yen Press on the 19th of July 2016. The first volume of Mushoku Tensei came out on May the 25th, 2019. For those that don't know, Mushoku Tensei is translated by 7 Seas, which is a different company from Yen Press. So both of these series, they have a time gap of 3 years. ReZero had a 3-year head start, and now both of them are on volume 22. So Mushoku Tensei has caught up to ReZero's volume count, even though ReZero had a 3-year head start. And do you know why that is? It's because Yen Press takes so long to release the ReZero light novels, translated in English. And you would think, oh, if they're taking such a long time, surely there wouldn't be any errors. But I've already covered that. You already know that the product is low quality. So do not support Yen Press. Do not buy the ReZero light novel. Do not buy the ReZero manga. If you want to support Tappei, buy the Japanese versions. Thank you for watching.